This is Brian Law reporting for Press for Truth live from Huntsville, Ontario, the site of the 2010 G8 Summit. As you can see behind me, there is a vehicle inspection roadblock set up that all vehicles must be inspected before they go down to the Deerhurst Resort, which is located just around the corner. And the leaders will be meeting there starting tomorrow, which will go into Saturday, and then they will be transferred down to Toronto to meet the rest of the leaders for the G20 Summit.
I had initially been told, both by, or at our town meetings and also by an officer that came to visit me about a month and a half ago, that the G8 would be great for my business and that I should be prepared for a very busy week. I am prepared for a busy week. I've got perishable food in my refrigerators right up to the ceiling, and since Friday, I've seen a severe decline in business, and actually yesterday was the slowest day I've seen business-wise since the last snowstorm when I had to close at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So today I've come in to put away my flowers and my tables and pack up business and go home, because there's no point. There's no point in my being open for the next 2 days, possibly 3. I've sent all my staff home, and that's it.
Are you? I'm from an organization called Press for Truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
What have they been telling you?
That they're shutting down shop because there's absolutely no business in town for it right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That nobody's coming into the town because they're too scared about the security.
The feeling of oppression, of anxiety, being in a militarized state is something that I've felt again since I've been here. So I know that these people have a job to do, but it makes me actually feel how important it is in Canada that we don't take those sorts of things for granted. Having to show my ID several times a day, having to sit there and wait while my name is run through the computer and so forth. It does, it is reminiscent of a more than a heightened sense of security.
And on Sunday last, there was a bomb threat right in the business just the next building down from me. It's a restaurant, and they evacuated the early dinner patrons, and actually didn't even advise us here next door that there had been any kind of an incident. My staff were left here to work unknown that there was something going on 2 doors down.
They do feel threatened by the amount of security and the amount of money being put into security. $1.1 billion as compared to the London summit that was $30 million and the Pittsburgh summit that was $18 million. You're looking at about 30 to 40 times that cost for protection here in Canada, and a lot of people are concerned about the amount of security, which I can attest to personally. Being in the city of Toronto, I was put in handcuffs a few weeks ago for filming on public streets and then charged with failing to leave the premises of where I was detained.
You know, an earthquake here yesterday, a tornado down the road in the afternoon as well, and then confrontations with roadblocks with the police. Those sorts of things can make people feel vulnerable. We do live in a time of political apathy. So I think that certainly in Canada, we are in a part of the world that does have things that are pretty good. I think that the idea of politics is something that people don't always think of as relevant to themselves. But if we look at ideas of community expenditure, this is a great example with this particular summit costing in excess of $1 billion.
So here we are in the official free speech area. I am the only person in this free speech area who does not have a gun. We just heard City TV's update on the G8 summit here in the designated free speech zone, commenting on how beautiful the view was and how they're surprised that no protesters showed up. But I think the reason is quite evident. It's fairly far away. There's no live cameras set up yet for a direct feed for people to voice their opinions, and I think most of the protesters, regardless of what their message is, want to get their message directly out to the leaders, and they feel kind of cut off in terms of this globalization or global government type of situation with all these world leaders meeting, and it's extremely hard for people on the bottom to get any sort of word up to the top. So you know, yes, it might have a great beautiful view. It's also about 6 kilometers away from the actual summit. This is supposed to be where the live camera feed is set up to go directly to the world leaders. There is the camera that will provide the live feed to the world leaders at the G8 summit, 6 kilometers away. A small little webcam hooked up to a laptop. Billions of dollars, and they get a Toshiba. Big money.
I think it's been a big hoax for most of the businesses in town. In fact, I don't know that anyone is doing particularly well from the G8. Certainly not better than had the G8 not come to town. I'd like to know exactly who is benefiting from this. Perhaps it's the developers, perhaps it's the road crews. Another thing I'd like to say is that I've been made aware that all of the contractors out at Deerhurst are non-local. There's only been a couple of people engaged to work on the refurbishment and beautification of the actual G8 premises.
So I think a lot of people, they feel comfortable in their home, they feel comfortable with their YouTube, they feel comfortable with their cell phone and the internet, and the people are just kind of too comfortable. They're not really willing to put their body on the line and get out into the thick of things.